So November 13th, we're starting off on my cash account with $2,980. So if you've been on the journey with me in the Discord earlier, you've seen me kind of go through the motions of growing my account, then withdrawing the money, and then growing it again, and so on. So that's kind of where things happen. Last thing I did was I withdrew the money out and give me 1 second. Withdrew the money out twice this summer. So twice this summer I've been able to grow it over 25K and then just keep growing until I took it out. The first time was to buy an Airbnb this summer in Pennsylvania near the Pocono area. And then the last time was recently just because I have more expenses coming up that I want to take care of. So this morning, I've been up since about 4. I've been watching things. So I didn't get to see when TIVC popped. TIVC, you can see right here, started popping really early, and then went even more around 7 a.m. Right, so this was after hours yesterday. It took off, which is usually the sign that you can watch this the next day, right? So after hours, it popped pretty strongly yesterday and held. It didn't sink back down. So this morning, today, it just kept going. You can see, and even if you had gotten in anywhere this morning, 1.7, 1.8, whatever, you'd then be able to possibly have had sold at like 2.5 and take those gains. And even now, it's standing pretty strong. So as market comes to open, it might continue soaring. The other thing that's moving pretty well. So unfortunately, on webull, uh, on the website, on the browser, it doesn't put everything in in order of percentage gain until market opens. But let me look at it. Hold on. The other thing that just 10x. The 10x was the other thing that just popped right here, and they have FDA clearance news, right? So 10x Therapeutics shares double pre-market after FDA clears IND for 10x 103. IND is an investigational new drug application. So that's always nice that it's been cleared. It doesn't necessarily mean that they've got any results or anything yet, but it's beginning, and that pulls in investors, right? Because then once you see a trial going into action, you go ahead and invest money into it and kick ass with that. Looking at my master list, things have held pretty well over the week. So yesterday I posted the earnings that we're going to be watching, and Palo Alto is one of them that's having earnings this week. On the daily chart, it's been pretty good. Hasn't been sinking or anything. So I look forward to this flying on earnings on the 15th. I don't think it'll have any trouble with that. If we look at SPY real quick this morning, let's see how that looks. So yeah, you can see on Friday SPY. When you're really zoomed in, you don't really see the bigger picture. So like on Friday, it was pretty scary in the morning because it was like sinking, then it would go up a little bit, then it was sinking. But the beauty is, if you have the right technical analysis, you kind of know what's happening, right? So what was I waiting for? So I was waiting on Friday to see this green line, the 434 support, that if SPY would come down towards it, hit it, and then take off. And it did come down towards it until these green candles started popping up. And it was when this green candle here, the taller one, right? You want tall candles. When the first taller green candle showed up, and you can see my green arrow indicator here telling me to kind of go in for calls, I went ahead and got calls, right? And then boom, after that, it all popped. And again, even when this was live and you couldn't see all the other candles that are here, this green arrow popped right when this candle went super high, right? This is a very big candle ranging from 435.5 all the way to 436.45. So that's over $1 in the size of that candle. So this little green arrow here really indicated that this is a good time to get calls. Personally, though, I don't like being in calls after the tall, huge candle, right? Because then you get into a call. Now, a tall candle will make the contract price go up pretty dramatically, but then it starts cooling off and goes downwards, and that's always the downfall of a lot of people. But this green arrow indicator is always great for me because had I entered, which I did, I entered on this candle. Had I entered before the green arrow and then the green arrow shows up, it's usually a good sign for me. And it kept going. You know, it dwindled a little at the 437 resistance, but then broke through that. Dwindled a little near the 439 resistance, and then broke through that. And here we are today. You know, hopefully looking towards breaking out into 441. So what do we see here? So pre-market, pre-market, what are we seeing is that after hours on Friday, the 441 resistance actually pushed it back down, and we're coming down towards the 439 level here. Now, if 439 holds, then when the market opens in another 6 minutes, this should keep going. And if we look at some of the others and how they're doing, it's probably gonna look pretty similar. Similar stuff. You got this huge red candle right when the day started, which is just volatility. It doesn't really mean much. Yeah, everyone's got the same exact shape, which is generally kind of what you see. But there's some red here. There's a tiny bit of bearish sentiment in the economy today too, because once again, like a freaking parrot, we're hearing conversation of a government shutdown, which is always annoying to hear about. Like, what even is that? Most people don't really comprehend the concept, and it's not really excuse me. It's not really a concept worth comprehending either. So there's that. But as we go into open, let me drink my water before I cough more. That. As we go into open, we're definitely going to be looking forward to seeing more popping action. So I'm going to be trading on my phone. We'll be watching stuff. And the point of this live stream is really to show you how I grow my cash account. So right now, my cash account, if you don't know, various trading software does offer a cash account, which means you could day trade as many times as you want, but you can only use all the money you have once, right? So right now I have about $3,000 in here, which means that I could make 30 $100 day trades, or I could make one $3,000 day trade. There's no limitation on the number of day trades I can do, but the money that I have, I can only use the whole thing once, right? So that's the concept there. And it works out because then I'm not restricted tomorrow. Tomorrow I can do it again, and every single day I can keep doing it because the money, basically the money goes into unsettled cash, and then the next morning it'll be settled again. If you bought options with it, it'll settle again the next morning. If you bought actual stocks and sold that, then you have to wait the 24 hours. So you skip a day. I wouldn't really buy stocks with it unless it's pre-market and I see something going like 300%, because then maybe it'll go 500%, and it's usually a pretty good bet to take on at that time. I also want to see, hold on. So we looked at the master list. Let's look at our crypto watch real quick before we open. Not that. Okay, where is Ethereum now? So yeah, Ethereum's pointing up, which pretty much means, all of them most likely are, yeah. Looks like Ethereum's doing a little better than the others in terms of energy right now. Let's take a look at coin. Where's coin? Coin. Alright, so coin had a massive run this day. What was this day? This was the 9th. Massive run on the 9th. Okay. Yeah. Pointing down a little bit right now, but it could run. It could run. Hut 8 has earnings this week. So that's another one. Earnings on the 14th. Okay. And then the last thing I like looking at is my AI list, just to kind of see where C3 AI is. Okay. So I invest into C3 AI on another thing I have called Stash every day, and not every day, every week. So I've been stacking up on this guy for the day it hits 100. That'll be the sexiest. Alright, so I think we're mostly ready. Let me send out some alerts real quick and then we could pop into the day. Now, I do have to say, once the market does open, I may not be talking as much, but you'll get to see what I'm looking at, what I'm focusing on, how I'm kind of going in between my various lists of different stocks I have that I keep an eye on. Um, and on my other screen, I also have Discord open, so I'm like looking at all the different alerts and all the different things that I follow from various servers to really just get a feel on where things are going, how things are looking. Now, as soon as market opens today, I already announced this yesterday, but as soon as market opens today, we have something on the calendar. Let me take a look what it was. CPI numbers, I think. Yeah, so oh no, okay, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow at 9:30 we have CPI numbers. Okay. So here we are. Market's open. Nothing to rush on, right? You take your time with it. You calmly just watch. You relax. You can hear my parrot whistling. Let's turn off that beeping sound. Alright, so let's take a look. Nvidia syncing. Now it'll be in order of percent. AVGO was disgusting on Friday, right? Contracts actually went from $1 to $17 from this huge flight. So, you know, we're seeing some really strong sinking right now, pretty much all across the table. And Tesla's looking pretty good. All right. Shop is green as well. SPY is looking like it's bouncing off the 439 line as we were discussing. If it can go up from here, it's possible that by the end of the day it'll do a similar thing again and similar to Friday again and possibly break out to towards 445. The daily chart looks like a mess because of all the lines, but in general, let me actually hide the drawings. So in general, if we're looking at the daily chart, the number we're trying to eventually break out from is 457.82. If we can get to like 460, that's a freaking bull run into the end of the year, which wouldn't be so shocking, with the elections and everything that's happening. That's kind of what tends to be the scenario around this time of the year. So, this is a nice green candle right there. I'm more interested in seeing if AVGO gives away all its gains. So this candle, this 5-minute candle is actually an indicator that it's still very strong, right? Because the tail is longer than the body, right? It sank all the way to 941.52, but then it came back up. It's looking like something where you would have a lot of people that sold, but then people are like, nah, chill, we're staying up. But if the body becomes longer than the tail by the time this candle closes, then that's a more bearish type of sentiment right there. Looking at contract prices, these are Friday expiration. If we were looking at the 935 put, we could see that it's looking pretty good. Right, 10.8. And if this sinks and the 10.8 starts becoming like 15, that's pretty bearish. And then we could start looking at some cheaper contracts further down that we could possibly buy. But right now it's just chilling. Palo Alto's looking strong. So we could think of hopping into calls here if we wanted to. This is like a very, very broad green candle, right? So let's take a look at this now. I'm going to try to get into Palo Alto calls because of various reasons, as I PNW, as I earlier mentioned. They have earnings. They're looking very strong lately. So Palo Alto options are looking pretty expensive as well, and more expensive now because of the massive pop that we're seeing. I mean, I could try for the 270. Yeah, I could, but it's not. It's very expensive. Too expensive, really. And we're seeing a bit of a pullback right now, which would be the best time to get in. But the contract is holding up very well. Alright, we're almost done with the first 5 minutes. I'm actually, so with the 3,000 that I have, I'm actually looking at just jumping into the 257.5 contracts. But it's extremely volatile right now. Holding up really well. Nvidia as well, and SPY is red now. Here we go. And again, remember, it's all a patience game. It's all a patience game. There's no single play that you need to get into ASAP because there's going to be plays all day. So we could see with our top movers, 10x is continuing to go even after market opens. If I didn't have a cash account, if I was a margin account, this would definitely be something I would have jumped into to see it break over 40 cents, possibly go to 45. TIVC is holding as well. So looking at tiny candles like these, which are usually called shooting star type of candles, these are usually a great indicator as well to get in. Again, if I had a margin account, I would try to get in and see if this breaks 3 at some point. I don't remember putting these lines. I don't even actually ever remember putting any lines on this. I'm not sure when this happened. Let's get rid of them. But yeah, see, here we go. It's already popping, right? So this probably will hit 3 by the end of the day, and 10x is definitely hitting 40 cents. It'll probably go to 45. And these are good plays for you if you're growing your account. You want to hop in. Let me just send that alert out as well. And for me, with my cash account, I want to kind of get into an option play and really just blow out of there. Yeah, see, so extremely volatile. There's no point, right? If I had entered that, I'd be pretty sad. Now, do I want to watch for this red and then switch over and enter to see if it goes green after that? Yes, I do. But I'm going to wait for confirmation because I am not on a margin account. Right? That's what you need to remember. Your account type, your power, the amount of money you have. Not being on a margin account puts you at a huge disadvantage, and you don't want to be a disadvantaged trader. looking really strong, Palo Alto. I'm looking at the option price on my phone as well as we're sitting here patiently. And I'm pretty confident things are eventually going to become very solid. I just don't know where the market is still going right now. It hasn't really been a long time yet. Pretty early in the day. So at this point, Palo Alto remains to be the only thing that's still green on my master list. Everything else is red. Not only are they all red, they're also all sinking. And that's been 2 candles so far, right? So 10 minutes into the day. Now remember, this doesn't mean I should enter puts, right? Because at this point, this can still swing over at some point and now start flying. So we need to keep watching. I'm not seeing much weakness in Palo Alto compared to the others. So far so good. Netflix is now green. Or trying to be. Everything's trying to be. These Palo Alto calls are expensive, man. Very expensive. Heavily inclined to get into Palo Alto calls. Nice LFWs going also. Again, if you were watching everything, you saw this like come all the way up to 7 and then sink back down. You see this first candle, the body is kind of slightly bigger than the head over here. For the next candle, the body is definitely bigger than the head over here. And that's usually a sign that this is going to keep popping. And again, this could probably hit 7.5 by the end, the next 10 minutes, actually, not the end of the day. Still watching Palo Alto, not really seeing a clear time to enter yet. It'd be great to enter on like a little bit more redness and then watch it go green. You know, but the green power on it is pretty powerful right now. Also need to see if this is actually a true breakdown, which means that we'd see more red and this would come down to like 438.5 roughly. But if it's not a true breakdown, this can still curl back up. Yeah, Palo Alto's ready to kind of rock. It's just too expensive of a contract, which is usually an indicator that a lot of people are rooting for it to be going. Tesla's sinking pretty hard. This could be a time to enter puts for Tesla. I'm not sure. I mean, Palo Alto is just too expensive for me on my small cash account, but entering Tesla doesn't seem too scary. Rivian's really taking off though. Rivian's taking off, but Lucid and Neo are sinking. Gold is down, and Nvidia is down. Where are you going, market? Will Tesla sink? Let's see. Looking at Tesla options right now. Tesla's definitely looking very bearish. And the whole market is starting to kind of look more towards the sinky red aspect of things. Rivian up 1% now. Okay. It's scary to try to enter Tesla puts when even one EV is running. You know, Neo and Lucid are sinking, but even Plug has some power, I guess. But yeah, Neo, Lucid are red. Rivian's green as fuck. Oh, PANW, excuse me, up 1% now. Palo Alto's really gonna probably come through. Like, probably should have entered those 260 calls. It's just not confirmed stuff. I can't enter things until I have confirmation and solid, you know, a strong feeling that this is gonna go, because I'm on a cash account, right? It's not a margin humongous account where I can average down or something. And that's more fun than, it's really stressful to work with like a 30K account, because you have so many more options that you'll actually end up messing up more often than not. So it's I've been watching the Tesla put contracts right now, and it's not really going down anymore. I'm looking at the 210 put, and it's kind of just staying at 4. Curious to see if things are gonna turn back around now. Will you sink or will you fly? That's my African gray parrot singing the song of its people. So right here now, I'm looking at SPY and Tesla at the same time to get a better understanding of where it looks like things are going. I was initially inclined to get into Tesla puts, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think this is going to turn green from here. We're not really seeing a strong drive anywhere besides Rivian. Rivian's really just going. Possibly a pretty short-lived go. Anyone with $15 calls is probably pretty happy now. If we were to try to jump into $16 calls, let's look at it. It's 40 cents right now. Is it gonna go to 50 cents? There's a random run on Rivian too. There's not. Nothing's really happening. There's an 8K, 10Q. Yeah, but the 16 call. If this goes to 50 cents, then it would have been a pretty good play to enter. $0.45. Yeah, it looks like things are becoming more bullish. The Rivian call is starting to go even after this candle. SPY is looking like it's trying to recover. This wasn't a real breakdown. All right, Rivian, good job. The 16 call will probably hit 50 cents then. Palo Alto, big sink. Okay, is that a good chance for me to get into the 260s now? SPY becoming green. Tesla probably becoming green. Yep. And oh, I forgot to say the other thing I look at. Banks, namely JP Morgan, which isn't really showing much movement at all. Pretty stagnant. So with smaller accounts, the game of trading really is significantly slower, right? And that's just kind of what happens. So if we're now in Tesla, like the green comeback looks like it's worth buying calls now, and the Rivian call is a lot cheaper than everything else. The 16 call mainly. It's just I don't know how much more power this is gonna show for the day. Rivian doesn't tend to have humongous moves. It'll do something like this. You see, it'll go, then sink really hard, and that's why I'd rather just watch now to see if it's gonna sink. Same thing with SPY too. Like this could still, on its way back up, hit the 439 and then just die harder. And this is why we have this concept of waiting for confirmation, right? We don't just enter a play because it's going a certain direction. We enter the play because we know it's going to possibly go a certain direction. Alright. QQQ is pretty weak. So now Rivian, Lucid, big comeback, right? Neo and Tesla, all four are green, which is pretty epic. The Tesla is moving powerfully upwards. In fact, almost everything is now. I kind of want to hop into Tesla calls. I'm looking at the 220 call. It's at 3.1. Came back up from 2.1. Wow. SPY coming back down a little bit. Is this gonna go? Let's see. What about Meta? Everything that was sinking is curling back up. Okay. It seems like entire market is crawling back up. Oh, ooh, ooh, that's what happened. Okay, Meta's still going pretty well. Meta's going well, but the others are kind of just way too off and weird and sinking. It's just a bunch of up and down shakiness. So $3,000, I should get into something and get out, use it up for the day, and then just chill and wait for tomorrow. And I'm not seeing anything else that I really want to wait for. See, you can see how SPY rejected, right? It rejected at 439. It didn't go, which usually is an indicator that others are not going to go either. You know, and we'll probably start seeing that in the next candle for everyone else. But Meta is going. You know, this is not a pretty candle, but it's going. Um, But honestly, it looks like a really good day to just enter puts. Yeah, there you go. There's the sink. Alright, so if the market is rejecting, we can go ahead and look at SPY and just enter puts. Because the market is definitely not looking like it's going to keep popping today. So if we're looking at, let's see, the 438 put. Okay, we're looking at the 438 put, just waiting to see if we're actually going to go more or not. I can catch it right here when it's cooling off. Alright, so I just got it. This is my position right here. Just make it a single. Yeah, that's my 438 put that I'm in. I'm in the 438 put at 0.7. Let's change this over. So you see how I have to change my account type. Back to my individual cash account. I'm not using the margin account. So cash account, you can see my position right here on the far right. I am only 10 cons, right? So I only used up $700 for the day. I can buy more, or I can just wait for display. At the same time, Meta is looking really good. I could try to get into calls for this. Meta is seemingly the only thing maintaining itself. Oh wow, Rivian, nice, 2% now. Did Rivian, but this still didn't hit 50 cents. Tesla, powerful comeback, very powerful comeback. Not looking to enter that shit. Way too expensive. But pretty confident this is gonna sink down. I can again buy more as we go along, but it's one of those days that's not a very clear shot day, right? It's a pretty weirdly, awkwardly volatile kind of day where things are kind of moving in either direction as they feel like it. This would be a great time to get some more contracts on this at 60 cents since I already bought some at 70 cents. So here we are trying to buy 10 more. Yep, filled. So now I have 20 contracts, okay? And again, Tesla flying. I mean, I would hate to see this start going now and become a bull run of a day. But if it does, I still have some cash left. I would close this position and then enter into calls and at most probably recover what I lost. But so far not looking too scary. All right. I want to see this sink below 438. Let me send this alert out now. Let's see where things go. So we'll keep Tesla. Sorry, we'll keep SPY open on the left. Let's see where everyone else is flying towards. Even Nvidia coming back up. It's just not looking very powerful. Anything coming back up is not looking very strong. It looks more of a red day than anything else, and my puts are green again. So my average price is 65 cents. I'd like to see this just go to $1, and that's kind of where I'd want to exit at. So I'm right here on the 438 put. I'd want to sell all 20 at $1, so that'd be $2,000. I've put in 1,300. I would leave with 700 profit, and that's looking good. There we go. There we go. There we go. Just sink. Just sink. It's okay. It's fine. I'll make sure to timestamp the video so people know where I finally entered a play, and that it took a long time to actually, we entered around 10 a.m. We had to watch, we had to see what's safe to enter and so on. But I will say, Tesla's strength is pretty shocking right here. But all the EVs are running, right? Especially Rivian. In fact, Rivian running strongly was a pretty good indicator that even though Tesla was sinking, it's going to come back. It's kind of what happens with people that follow EV stuff. But Tesla's the only thing that's really looking good per se. Nvidia was sinking hard and now it's flying. So imagine anyone that was accumulating calls as it was sinking, right? Like they're happy. My SPY puts though are still looking good. This just jumped from 482 to 488. That's some bullshit pump, right? That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's amazing. Anyone that was accumulating Nvidia calls as Nvidia was sinking just printed big time. In fact, making me want to get into it, but not now. Not after it did that. Crazy. It's unable to hold it. It's unable to hold it, which would be a sign of whether or not bears are going to be taking this. The SPY put I'm in keeps going to 0.7 and coming back down, which isn't enough. It's just not looking like that kind of a bullish day. Looking like a very weak day. But if this starts breaking back out, then it's going to become a bullish day, and that's when you start getting into calls with the remainder of your money to recover what you lost and get even more. So we need to now see if this is going to reject here at the 439 and sink hard. I could buy more puts right now, but it's just not going to be worth it to buy more puts right now. Instead, I would take the L on that and then switch over into calls and recover what I lost if this is looking forward to flying, which I'd be pretty surprised to see. The massive Nvidia pump right here is the surprising thing, right? Like, if we were watching Nvidia, we would have seen, of course, this red candle, all these red candles, but then the two tiny green candles would give life. However, these usually are a sign of another big red candle to follow. That's kind of what that usually means. So to see this happen, and it happened very instantaneously, is shocking as fuck. You know, from 483 to 488, that's just not how things are supposed to go. And it does look like it's rejecting pretty well. I'm inclined to buy some more puts and go all in on this now with, you know, what I have. So I got more. I got 10 more. So now I'm at 30. My average is 63 cents. And since I have a bigger position on it, I just want to see it sink pretty hard and take whatever I can. But I'd be shocked to see anything else. I mean, pre-market SPY was sinking very rapidly. You know, it was pretty good gap down there, and then a gap down again here. We have these two volatility indicator candles, as I call them, right? The 4 a.m. one, and then the right here 8 a.m. one. These are usually the time points when certain brokerages open up and everyone's orders come in. Very bearish, right? But then Nvidia just pulled a stunt, so we have to see how that impacts everything. If SPY can just knife down to like 438.2 roughly, give us a new low of day, I would have my fill and I'd be good to go and sell. Actually, let me set a sell order for, I would say, probably 0.7 for 20 of my 30 contracts, just so I could at least secure that. But that's the play for now. So hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Hey. No, not really. Yeah, I'm coming. Alright, let me go take care of this. I'll post what happens as we go through the day. This is starting to break upwards, but I'm still going to keep watching it. I have another 1100 left to average down more, or switch over into calls and take it if calls fly all the way to a new high of day. If calls start going towards if SPY starts going towards 441, as Nvidia starts showing more power, as Tesla starts showing more power, then I'd sell the puts, get into calls, and carry it all the way to 441 plus into the end of the day to see recovery of whatever loss I take here and make more profits. But for now, I'm still pretty inclined on holding the puts because it's not strongly breaking through. You know, SPY is not strongly breaking through the 439 point. So let's see what happens. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys again later on.